Perfect.
Hey, Soul Tribe. I'm KamalaDevi.
I'm Michael McClure.
And I'm Adam Paulman.
And we are cuddled up here on a Saturday morning listening to Tamara's Love School introduction and our cat.
Tamara's the community in Portugal. It's also related to Zeg. So if you've heard of Zeg Forum and those technologies that we use in our community a lot.
Yeah, and so Adam invited us to do this deep dive, and we've been tuning into the values of what is this big experiment they're doing in community on love in Portugal, and they're really starting to look. I mean, they're always working on global peace because the question's really about healing, love, and stopping war. And with that comes not possessing each other. So it's also, experiment in free love. And so we wanted to share some of our harvest because we're in a journey right now. We're kind of in the middle of it. And we wanted to talk about how this applies to our non-residential, more, loose community here in San Diego. So I'm curious what touches you.
Yeah, so what touches me, I just want to say that I love our community so much. And even though it's not a living community, we're not all living together. KamalaDevi and I and our son Devin live in what looks like a very much of a nuclear family. But our bigger community really is supportive of us, and to do the type of work that we need to do about love. We really need to have that community. And I just want to thank all of you for, the get-togethers that we have, the parties, the times that we're doing this work together. And just say that's, our evolution is coming from having that community, and not just being in these little in couples, basically, that that's the part that is the real gold here. And I love our San Diego community and the bigger community that's here in the United States and throughout the world, that we do interact with, at different times.
Yeah, I want to contextualize one more thing because, Michael, Adam and I have been, really deeply involved in the architecture of San Diego conscious community. And then, of course, there's been many evolutions, including COVID, and how that affected everybody and how that's changed how we relate. And in the last, especially 6 or 7 years, Michael and I,
that's our cat.
Michael and I have been really traveling a lot and finding our community around the world. And because the International School of Temple Arts, can you get him? is restructuring. We're actually in a moment in time when that community is in a crisis and it's restructuring. And one of the things we learned about Tamara is they're also in a kind of a crisis and in a type of a restructure. So this is a really beautiful time for us to look at what do we want to do in San Diego? How do we want to upgrade, our San Diego community? Yeah.
It is so. This has been such a rich journey so far, and we still have one more to go with it. One of the things, we traveled to the Zeg community in Germany together some years ago, and I remember talking with the people there, and they said, "Oh, you're in community. What's the address? Where does everybody live?" And we were constantly having to explain to people, well, it's a community network of people, of friends and lovers who are co-supportive with each other. And it was really beautiful in the talk today to hear them talk about the decentralized community, that if we wait until everybody can buy land out in the countryside, then you've missed your opportunity for this. There were a couple of high points, and that are in my mind mostly because they were the last things that were being talked about. Sure. The reference was to being midwives of new culture. And what that means to me is not that we're having to create it. By the time you need a midwife in a birthing, the birthing, the child is already there. The new life, the new culture that we're bringing forth is already there. It just needs the support and the nurturing of the midwife to, in the ease. And what is coming forth, and also what's been there kind of all along at various stages, is the creating of a laboratory to experiment in love.
Yeah.
And this is what Zeg and Tamara have done. And this is what we've done in our community here in San Diego in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And even, KamalaDevi has inspired us with that, the Tantra Theater and the Paloozas.
The snuggle parties and the super pods and the
And-
holy potlucks. And
Well, that was the thing that, that started that out. And you and I had actually put our heads together and said, what should we do? And let's have a poly potluck. Every Thursday night or something like that. And who knew who showed up? But it created a laboratory where people could dream and hold precious. This was another really important thing, the longing. The longing for life can be more than this.
Yeah.
And that's what propels us forward.
I think all those containers that we mentioned have that in common, which is like, here's a space where we honor what are the deep matters of the heart. And I do feel, I'd say San Diego has really grown in its sex positivity and its sexual expression and the permission for eros to flow. And I'm really proud of a lot of the amazing, conscious experiments that we've had. And I'm actually my heart's longing is for more consciousness in the community gatherings and more. And it's not like a matter of what's sacred and what's profane. It's like, where does the eros, the life force energy, meet with that consciousness piece, that transcendent energy that holds us all together. And so by your invitation to get immersed in Tamara and Forum, I'm definitely inspired to see more Forum, because that's a space in which it's not individual consciousness, it's the collective, like the group heart opens.
Yeah, all the hearts get to see each other and feel each other and
then
hear each other.
And then we're
together.
connected to something bigger than our individual. It's like a field energy that moves us, and that's what I really long for. Yeah,
and I also see that as kind of an intermediary step to the other step, which is, because of the pandemic, everybody's going on Zoom now, which is a huge acceleration of our of this loose knit network worldwide. Basically, we're opening up a community now worldwide because of what's happened in this past couple of years. And that also goes hand in hand with doing things like the Forum and having these containers.
The impersonal work.
Yeah, the personal work that is impersonal as well. Transpersonal work, but it's actually done physically together, because that's, those two things are important. But it's also an amazing time that you're watching us right now on this, on this screen, and that that we're available to talk to people. Just a few minutes ago, we were talking to people in Estonia, in Australia, in Honduras. They were running it in Portugal, and we were all together in that and feeling that love together. So that's my vision for the future. And I want a lot of that to come out of San Diego, as it has, already. So,
well, that's a beautiful thing to say. The way that we're able to connect together, and it's been kind of forced on us. Fortunately, the technology was there. Who knew that we were going to want and need
it
this
so much?
I went to Tamara for 2 love schools that they were having their residential. Didn't make the cut this last year. But how many people can be together physically in one place? Maybe 100. And having to invest in the transportation and the travel, the expense of that, and also the carbon footprint of that. We want to keep our consciousness around that as well. And being able to meet together. I think there were 200 of us, plus or minus, in these video calls.
Today.
Yeah.
You know, it was a tremendous number of people were being reached.
One more piece I want to just maybe pin, you know, for a deeper conversation later, is how post-pandemic we have immeasurably increased our understanding of trauma and collective trauma. You know, not only are we going through this death initiation and the isolation and all the trauma that happens, but then the way to be with sexual trauma and what we understand about the nervous system now is just wasn't even talked about, you know, because we've been doing this work for 20 years. So we've gotten to see what's the new fate, like what's the new trend, what's the new awareness, and trauma is really important piece of the conversation that we didn't have when we were love pioneering and exploring free love the way we were. So that has deeply upgraded, but more importantly is this this coupling of private trauma with collective trauma. And to me, that's where the real healing of trauma happens, is in, you know, in the collective. Like when it's just personal private trauma, it's like we're separate still, even in our wounding. But when we bring all of our wounding together, it's like then we're part of a bigger whole. And so that's where I feel, you know, not only the forum can help and the community gatherings can help, but there's a next level of healing that can happen because of our awareness of it.
Yeah, those are good words.
Yeah.
Those are good words.
And you know, in just kind of in summary, I would say that really the work is about peace. It's world peace. And we're doing it through the microcosm of love. So if there's
the personal love feeds to the global love.
If there's war in love, in relationships, that just translates out, you know, out into the world as war, as physical war. And so, you know, that's our main objective on the whole. And
to really, you know, empower people to know that love is a choice and hate is a choice, and war is a choice that people make. Tragic choice, but it's a choice, and it's always possible to choose love.
Did you say something, Adam? I was too busy looking at my wife's breasts. Right. I'm sorry.
All right. It's been really sweet connecting with you, and we love
you and look forward to seeing you soon.